Hello and welcome to the show. We are here on Forza Horizon 3 for today's Versus the Community. We're going to tackle some Hot Wheels circuits, because we haven't actually done very many Versus the Communities, very many races around some of the other tracks. I know one track very, very well here. The rest, not so much. I have, set the restrictions of this one, just A-Class. That's all it is. So, an interesting selection of vehicles. We've got the little classic American section here. Yes, someone is trying to get a gasser to work. I say classic American section. Kind of classic muscle cars, because I've got a Falcon, so Australian muscle car. And then we've got a little bit more odds and ends, including a buggy and a Porsche. But, yeah, interesting selection of cars shall be tackling this Hot Wheels, or these Hot Wheels, multiple Hot Wheels tracks. I am hoping for all-wheel drive to compensate for having to run the car on just street tyres, and plenty of power to make the Ford a relatively, fingers crossed, competitive car. So it is the Halfpipe Speedway that shall be our first circuit. I've forgotten about the add your own stunts into the mix. So we've got to loop the loop, because why on earth not have a loop-the-loop in the middle of the race? Starting on pole is going to be the gasser. I'm hoping we can potentially outrun that by the time we get... no, that might be an all-wheel drive swapped gasser. That's a seriously impressive launch. Now, apparently he's trying to tune some of the understeer out of that car. I'm not 100% sure that's really possible. There's an amount that you can do, but there's also an amount of the front being stuck up in the air, wiggling around, that is never ever going to be fixable. Now, how are we doing in terms of straight line speed? This I don't really know with the Falcon. I hoped by shoving in a decent amount of power, we are just under 600 horsepower in this car, that we would be pretty good when it came to... Oh, that's a tighter corner than I was expecting. I'm really glad that wasn't a sort of snagging end on the corner that would get us caught. Yeah, I was hoping decent amount of power and be good enough through the corners by going for the all-wheel drive, not having that terrible standard tyres. I basically tried to rectify the mistakes I made with the Maserati. When I went for that classic Maserati the last time we were on Horizon 3, I went too much power, not enough grip. So this, hopefully a happy little medium. We've got a buggy for company. Buggy is very, very quick, actually. Oh, yeah, fully does it through these corners. The buggy's trying to go around the outside. Does he have the grip? No, he doesn't. We're going to maybe defend into these next couple of corners. No, there's a buggy there, but I will have the acceleration over the turn, potentially, just about to stick my nose, to keep my nose, I should say, ahead. And I suspect the buggy is likely to run out of top-end speed. Yeah, this is where we're going to pull away a little bit from that. And it's necessary. I'll be honest, that thing is proved to be very, very good through the corners. Now, we did need to be a little bit more careful. I tried to be a little bit more careful. Things have gone very badly wrong for the Ford. Recover it. There we go. I was trying to be a little bit more careful. It really didn't work that time around. We have pulled a fairly sizable gap over the rest of the field. My gear ratio is actually a little bit short in this car. Not the most helpful of things. Oh, that's way too much speed on the run into there. Now trying to make out time. Got to be careful. Oh, buggy had a big twitch around that final corner. Got to be careful trying to make up time around some of these corners where it is possible to fall off. You can get away with pushing it when you've got a guardrail to ping off of, but on some of these you've got no safety margins and you will go soaring off the track, and a reset will cost you a lot of time. Now we're in the Ford's strong part of the circuit. I think the Mustang behind us might possibly be catching up a little bit. Certainly not going away back there. Are we going to... We're going to go side by side through the loop, as you do. Not very often you have overtakes done as you go around a loop. I will take it. Now, let's get the Ford. That's it. We've actually got it slowed down this time around. Oh, Buggy's in big trouble. Buggy's had a massive issue. I think he did exactly the same as I did on the previous lap. It looks like he got caught and bounced around. we have now got a pretty sizable lead here. Doesn't mean that I'm not capable of doing something stupid and throwing it away. I think I spotted the white McCann flash through the loop. I imagine vehicles that have fallen off of the circuit and missed checkpoints, you're going to lose a lot of time. You can't really afford to make mistakes. I've got away with one mistake in this race. One sizable mistake. I got very lucky. The fact that I had an all-wheel drive car kind of saved me. I could just kind of boot it and we survived the big sideways scare. Other than that, though, it's been a case of be sensible when it comes to the corners that you can fall off. The first couple of laps when I wasn't so sure, didn't want to make any silly mistakes, and yeah, I have got a couple of second lead. In fact, how far have we got? 2.7 seconds clear of that surprise. I wasn't necessarily expecting the buggy to be our closest challenger. I say that, we've gone way too quick into there. We got away with that one once more. Yeah, I wasn't expecting a buggy to be the biggest challenger to the Falcon, but it's proved to be a very, very good car when it came to the corners around here, trying to dive down the bottom, the exit of the banking section there, just to get the most out of the car. Now, don't do anything stupid around these final corners. I don't care if I'm a little bit slower. Even just make sure we do it cleanly. The buggy absolutely flew through there. He has nothing to lose at the end of the day. He's miles clear of the rest of them. I got fastest lap as well. The Mustang not that far behind. A good day for the Fords. An RX-7 looks like it's going to come home in fourth, ahead of maybe the BMW. We had a massive lead. The RX-7 had some decent pace. Keep up there with the buggy. Oh, had a second clear of the pack. The Focus got a good lap towards the end as well. I think it's just easy to make mistakes around this circuit. A couple of places where you could fall off and get in a lot of trouble. The Gasser didn't come last. It is some 7 seconds a lap down on the Falcon, but didn't come last. I'm going to hazard a guess. It's probably not going to be in the next race, but there we go. A good start for the Ford. Our next race, and we head to the Tidal Teeth circuit. Got to choose two different things for two different stunts, whatever you want to call them, to have to try and complete. In this, we had, I think it was the wave and split jump to go for. So the wave is going to be bouncy, and the buggy will probably be very good there. And, well, the split jump is also likely to be quite well suited to the, to the buggy. Don't know how well the Ford is going to fare there. Hopefully quite well. Oh, that'd be a really easy checkpoint to miss. Had to mess around. I think the RX-8 went for a bit of an explore into the sand. Ooh, where are we going over there? Skyline has come flying past. Now, here is our first obstacle. It's not going to be too bad for these cars. The Skyline, whoop, as I say that, trouble has struck the Ford. Got away with trouble. Oh, that Volvo is playing it risky, and the Volvo is gone. Oh, for a minute it looked like he might be able to save it. Would have been an amazing save if he had. Oh, this is a really tight circuit. Did not remember this being as a nastier track as that, but there we go. I think this might be, well, it looked like a very, very long lap, this particular circuit. So a 3-lap race might be longer than a normal Horizon race that we would do. I'm not sure this was the right choice for getting through here as we head up towards the split jump. Yeah, someone has tried the other path. Oh, the Skyline almost fell. Don't worry about the checkpoint missed. I do remember that being a bug. It will say checkpoint missed, but you will be okay. Skyline got away with that. Is the biggest let-off I think we have seen in one of these races. No, the buggy's here. The buggy turns better than the Ford. The Skyline turns better than the Ford. Use the speed of the Falcon. No, it's not quite going to work. I don't even know what's going on with the leaderboard. Skyline's out wide. I will take that position from you. Which one of us is faster in a straight line, though? I do not know. It looks like it might be, ever so fractionally, the Skyline. That's a scary prospect, because I think the Skyline's better through the corners than me. Oh, bugger. Now we have the loop as well to contend with. I suspect the Skyline has better acceleration. I might have better top speed than the Nissan. We're both quicker than the buggy. Is there going to be a way past here? No, there is not. I could have gone for a big dive But seeing as I don't know the circuit, it wasn't really worth the risk. We've plonked a wall. Go on, Buggy. You and the Skyline fight. You slow each other down with a big old fight. There's a huge twitch from the Buggy through that corner. Oh, we've got a Volvo and something else coming to join in the fun. Yeah, my Ford, not so good here because this is a really, really technical Hot Wheels track. Very, very demanding Hot Wheels. So if I remember rightly, it was a while ago when I started the Hot Wheels Showdown series, this is one of the tracks that was in contention. Would have been used if it wasn't for the fact that it's such a long lap around here. It's a very, very long lap. The Buggy's got... Amusingly, the Buggy's got in more trouble across the bumps than the Skyline did. We've also got a Gremlin coming to join in the fun. Can we make it a four-way battle at the Hot Wheels track between a Skyline, a Buggy, a Gremlin, Ford Falcon? That would be one of the most unusual, not the most unusual. We've had all sorts of strange battles. Oh, and there's an 850R as well, because of course there is. It would be one of the more peculiar battles that we have seen in a versus the community. Come on, carry speed. Now let's try going the other way this time around. I wonder if getting in, like overall it's the same distance, but I wonder if getting into the jump side slows you down a little bit more, or whether that... I reckon the jump side might be the better option. We've kind of lost time, although, again, it's a tight section where the Ford is likely to lose time regardless. Come on, please get turned around there. Don't have the grip to do this bit. This is where we're in big trouble. Yeah, this circuit, you can see how much the Buggy is closed up on the Skyline. It's the Buggy to the outside, might even hold it all the way around the outside. He did hold it around the outside. It was a brilliant overtaking attempt, and then he got caught on the curb that fired the Buggy onto its roof, and that is going to put him down the order. What can we do about catching the Nissan? I don't think a huge amount. Unless he makes a mistake, goes for a swim somewhere, I don't think we can do much about catching it. We've got to try and fend off now the rest of the pack and hold on to our second place. As I say that, we run very, very deep. Oh, and there we go. That was the mistake that we needed. I think the Skyline dipped a wheel in the water. Oh, we nearly got sent soaring into the abyss there. Around the final corner we go to start the last lap, and it has come down to Falcon versus a Gremlin of all things. The Volvo is in third. The Skyline might have time to make up some positions. Will it be enough to get back towards the front? Can I go an entire race without making a mistake? I mean, we're running wide in this car because I'm struggling to get it turned. However, we aren't having big mistakes. We aren't missing checkpoints. We haven't fallen off the course as of yet. This is going to be, as strange as it is to say, make a wide Ford, make life difficult for that Gremlin. Don't do that, you stupid moron. Oh, we got to get... don't know if we've got any assistance in that, or whether that was just a little bit of the good old Forza lag. Can we out-accelerate the Gremlin down here? Well, I mean, I was still there. A little bit of space would be appreciated on that one. I will make sure to return the favour if at any point I get close enough to do so. So the Gremlin this time is trying the other way. We will not do that one. Oh, that was a huge wiggle. That was an absolutely massive wiggle from the Ford, although I think it has worked. Oh, we made up some time in all of that. We made up some time. I'm going to hold you down on the inside there because I can, although don't get on the throttle too soon. No, we're going to run wide. We're going to ping off the wall. There's no grip in the Ford whatsoever. It just doesn't turn through that section, but that's just what you got to deal with in this car. Now we have the sort of only straight bits on the course. We can kind of make the most of the Ford's top end speed, and I'm hoping this is where we might be able to have a little bit of an advantage. Don't know how much power the Gremlin has got. Probably not as much as the Falcon. I had to try and hold it flat through there. It's about the only chance I really have is to try and carry as much speed. The Gremlin is too far gone up ahead. need it to make a big mistake into this final corner. I gave it a good shot, but unless we can get a mega run somewhere here, which we're not going to do, I'm going to have to settle for the second place. I tried it. I threw everything I could at it, but not enough handling. Not enough handling in the Ford. Good race, though. Skyline would get third ahead of the buggy in fourth. Yeah, it just doesn't get turned well enough, the Falcon. Volvo would end up in fifth, head of BMW, Mustang, the other Volvo down in eighth, Corvette, Mini, Clio, and the RX-8 down at the bottom. A mean circuit, a very mean circuit. A lot of grip needed, around there. But I'll take a second place. So we are heading to the Rollercoaster Reef for our next race with a police car in the mix. Also, I might have been calling the Pacer a Gremlin and Gremlin. I always get the two of them confused. Either way, I'm running away at the front. Fingers crossed. It's quite a big fingers crossed. It might be able to do it. It might be able to certainly get away to a decent lead, although I spy a corner almost immediately. Come on, Ford! All of the... That's good enough for me. It's not quite as tight a corner as I was expecting it to be as well, so that's helpful. Ooh. Okay. I was wondering if that's a possible... No, I don't think that's a... I mean, it's a possible jump to get up there. Not something that we are looking like we will tackle. Oh, police cars fallen over. That's a good start. Police car's gone. Police car is very much down. And it looks like I might have, I think, still a Skyline to be contending with. Oopsie. We've pinged off the wall there already. Thankfully, this is a relatively nicely banked corner. Now, for our stunt to have to try and tackle, we've got a crossover point. I am fine. I am a long way clear of the pack, and second place is relatively fine. What happens with the rest of the cars, who knows, basically. Oh, still going to be flat out up here. Can we go flat out through this next turn? Yeah, oh no, not quite. Almost, but not quite. Now this is where we might have some strength, or we might not. Apparently the Skyline is quicker than us in terms of straight line speed. Is that going to come soaring past on the loop? Yeah, absolutely nothing that I can do there. We are in the limiter at the moment, which does not really help matters. Oh, that's a really horrible corner to try and get right. Oh, I braked way too late. We have got the checkpoint there, thankfully. Oh, scramble. Skyline missed the checkpoint as well. Neither of us quite knew how big a stop that one would be. The Volvo's in the lead. Hey, Volvo is leading, but well, the second time so far in this session, it was the new one that led in the last race. That met an untimely end with a trip off the course. I mean, I'm not saying I hope for a similar thing. I kind of feel like I might have enough pace in the Ford to overcome the 850. I need the Skyline to be held up for as long as possible, because that thing is quicker than me. The only way that I get to beat the Skyline is that he has issues or makes more mistakes than I do. I just don't think I have the car speed, need longer gear ratios. We are gradually catching to the back of the Volvo around this long banked corner. We're going to clonk into that. I think the police car has far too much power. Nowhere near enough grip. We're now slightly wall bouncing. I will lift off the throttle. We won't go for an overtake from a bouncing around on the walls. How are we going to tackle the back marker? We'll go around the outside. I had a little dab on the brakes there to make sure that I got my back under control. I wasn't quite sure we were going to. Right, down the back stretch we go. A little bit too far back to do anything about the 850R at the moment. It is, I think, the Skyline and correctly named Gremlin are having a fight behind us. You can see them whiz around. Do quite like that angle, if you like, there. Now, how brave dare we be? Apparently braver than the Volvo. You do need a little bit of a lift, but you don't need a brake around there. That's a lovely corner. Real challenge, but a really interesting challenge at that. Carefully does it this time. That's a horrible, horrible braking zone. Carefully does it this time through there. The Volvo is quicker. The Skyline much quicker than me as well. I wanted to make sure we didn't make any silly mistakes. But we're going to have a lap of trying to overhaul the 850R and a lap of trying to defend from that R34. And I'm not sure I've got the speed to do the defending bit. All catch. The Volvo actually do a very, very good job at the front of this field. Let's try to have a look back. See, I think it is still the Gremlin in fourth. I don't know whether that's busy lapping or whether that's someone else who is making up time. Relatively spread out field further back. Quite interesting racing going on here at the front of the field. Yeah, this is where we do start to close a little bit on the Volvo, but it might be too little and a little bit too late from me there. Will the Skyline try to... the Skyline... I wonder if he might try to go the other way to get ahead of... If he thinks he can go through there quicker than me, which he probably can. Very, very difficult to get moves done, but it's so narrow, but he's just got the acceleration to drive clean past me. Nothing I can do in that instance, although he then makes a mistake. We might be able to drive back past if we have the run. No, I don't. I'm not sure either of us can catch the Volvo, unless the Volvo goes building sandcastles in that huge braking zone, which is eminently plausible. You know, it's a really easy, if irritatingly silly mistake to make. It is a very, very easy place to have a huge, huge off. I love that corner. That's a really, really interesting corner, especially in cars like these that aren't great on the old brakes. Oh, Volvo's off! The Skyline's off as well! They both pushed it too hard on the final lap. On the final lap, I don't even care if I bounce off that wall. It doesn't matter because I will take a victory by not being a moron on that corner. Oh, the poor Volvo is going to finish in fifth. Just finishes in fifth ahead of the Mustang and a Civic Type R. Now, Civic got a seriously good lap in the midst of all that. Well, there we go. That is why you don't give up until the very, very final corner. Because you never know when your opponent... I have no doubt that Nissan was braking off of the Volvo's braking point, trying to brake later than the Volvo to make ground, and the Volvo braked way too late. The Nissan just couldn't quite slow it down in time, and I would reap the rewards. There's no smug face going on at all. I'll take that, though. Two wins so far for the Ford. Can we make it a third? And to finish off, we have got a point-to-point race, the Dino Breakout circuit. No idea on this one. I'm going to be starting from the very back as well. It's a circuit I've not even got a custom created event, so one that I don't think I've ever driven. The Ford has had a small tweak. I've extended the gear ratio, so we're going to stop buzzing the limiter, which should be good, help us out a little bit as well. Fingers crossed. Fingers crossed we can... Oh, the 850R did not get off the line very well. A few cars have struggled massively in getting up. You can really tell the rear-wheel drive... Oh, bugger me. That's not good. I'm having a sneaking suspicion this is probably not going to go so well for the Ford. I was busy looking for ways past the cars ahead. Didn't realise that the circuit was going to dip away so suddenly. Well, it's going to be a long, lonely drive. Hopefully picking off cars as people make mistakes. I'm not going to be there to fight with the Skyline. I think the buggy's given up and is driving something different. So we are going to have... we go around the circle. Oh, this isn't going to be fun for my poor Ford. It's not really got the grip for this sort of stuff, these spirals. Where you'd really need a car with more grip. In the all-wheel drive probably won't be helping in this case particularly. Oh yeah, and the choosable stunt was something called the dip, which I assume is this thing coming up here, where we jump down, have a crash. Oh no, we didn't have a crash. It's good. We got through there relatively well. The bumpy off-road nasty bits with the muscle cart, so we're all okay. Very noisy dinosaur in the background. Oh, that crest gets you sideways, slightly unexpectedly. Oh, it's another noisy dinosaur up towards some tighter corners than I was quite prepared for. Don't have a... we can get through, we can get away. with running wide, get out of the way of the swerving around BMW. Gearbox through the gears, up towards this boost pad. Oh, we're back towards this corner. It's an interesting, fun corner. And now we can make the most of the run down this side. Oh, bugger, we've got a jump to deal with. Oh, we have to go on the brakes almost immediately because that's going to be a really tight corner. That's a horrible, horrible section. I would like to point that out. That is a really, really nasty section. Get turned around there. More gear changes. Up to 6th across the boost pad. Oh, that sort of landing boost pad didn't really do much. And that's not as banked corner as you might hope. I'm not really sure there's much I can do at this moment in time. I can see an 850R. I think the skyline at the front is just too quick around this circuit. This is a circuit, I say ideally suited to it. It's probably the fastest car here, in all honesty. Oh, bugger! Well, I guess I've had too many good races. Forza has to punish you somehow, and this is that race. I might not come last though. That is the most important thing in all of this. Oh, I might fly into the barrier because I didn't know how tight that corner was, but I might not come last. Fell off the course and hit the crossroads. Sorry, Ford. You had 2 firsts and a second. Couldn't really capitalise on all of that. Well, it is a distinctly non-American car, top lot this time around. We have got, the Skyline, Subaru, 2 Alpines. The Volvo gets a 5th place. No, not my race. I think we should have left it at 3 races, to be honest. But there we go. That is how racing goes sometimes. I like the Ford though. Good car. Good car. Not quite enough grip. And while the speed was nice, there was better combinations of speed and grip. Had some good racing though, with the Skyline, with the buggies, and of course managing to win when everybody falls off the course is always good. Always good indeed. That though is going to be it for this video. Thank you very much for watching, and until next time, goodbye.